Hello everyone, Sin here. Welcome back to another video guide, and this time you wanted it, you asked for it so much, so bad. It's gonna be about the crafting guide. Yes guys, it's about the crafting guide. Actually, sorry, I wanted to actually record it yesterday alongside with the no trial belt run. I've had some health issues, so I wasn't able to actually do so until now. So I'm gonna recover it in this moment. Okay, so before starting with the video, with the guide, I would like to point out a couple of things. First one is thank you again to all of you. You guys are awesome. You're giving such feedback to me. Uh, Many of you have already played with me physically in game. I received a lot of invitations, as you can see right here. I really hope to have played with all of you already. So if someone of you didn't actually play with me after adding me in game, please comment below because I don't want anyone to be ignored by me. And I'm so glad, I'm so happy to actually play with you, to help you out grinding your gear, to give you some gear. Some of you actually gained was given gear by me. uh, I'm so happy for this. Don't worry about that, guys. I really do so. I really do that happily. Very happy mood. So, thank you again. Thank you very much for supporting me. Another thing I would like to say is that maybe this is not the best time to pop a crafting guide because of the uh, crafting material prices right now. So since patch 10.0 came out, the devs finally fixed duping, and so crafting materials now are very costly. You can find a single stack, so per stack we mean 20 units of greater entropy orbs, geos, gas, guts, goes for 3 millions, which is a lot, I know. There are many players who actually don't have enough gold yet, they are low level. There are some more players who actually left the game during previous patches, and now they don't have the money to do so. But then I will try to guide you, not just on how to get the items, but I will give you an idea of how much you should sell your stuff in order to update you to the market prices and to be able to buy crafting materials, keep crafting, and keep making money as well from selling your stuff. Okay. One last thing is that I would say something very important. I noticed in my yesterday's no trial run video that a couple of comments accused me of being a duper. This is something I take very seriously. This is something I take very personal because I'm a very stoic and very honest person myself in real life. Uh, I live in a very difficult situation as well. I live in Italy. I live in a close to red zone. I have very serious issues with my family. My father has cancer, and every day we do everything in our forces to do everything in a very correct way and in a very uh, honest way. Okay, this is me in the real life, and this is the same person I am in the real life. You will find it in the game. Okay, many of you already know that. Many of you saw that with their own eyes. Many more can confirm that. I can confirm that myself with the chat logs. I am absolutely no duper. I never duped anything. I never exploited anything. I didn't even farmed the vendor once in my life. I don't even play with possibly bugged nodes in my build because I just despise it. I don't really like it. I really hope, I really was joyful when the devs released the latest patch in which duping was fixed. I'm in first line every day, fighting and reporting people trying to sell me for real money and trying to sell me duping methods. I have sent to the moderators a lot of reports of this kind of people. I have the logs, I can prove it. So I'm actually in the very first line fighting any sort of cancer which can make this game ill. Since I live in a quarantine zone in Italy, my daily schedules are just attending my university classes online, and then I play Wolcen every day. I only play Wolcen. I have gathered already 600 hours of playing. Every day I try to do my best in order to gain time for you guys, in order to craft and sell my stuff, in order to make some runs, some rifts, and some untainteds. This is what I do every day. I'm giving all my efforts and all myself into the game. So for those, if any of you has any inquiries to make, I would kindly ask that person to step aside and to do that uh, with me in a private chat and with a game developer or a game moderator as well, so that if you really think I'm duping, I'm gonna ask the moderator to check my account log, to check my account data, and you will be proven that I never, never, never did such a thing. Okay? This is something I take very seriously, and this is something I wanted to actually be very, very expensive on the details and on the explanations. Okay? As you can see from yesterday, my money has grown by a lot already. I had 140 millions. Now I have almost 200 millions. I don't do this by duping, okay? I lost some affinity because I bought stuff from the market. I sold stuff from the market and I gained money. This is just the only way I gain my incomes, okay? There's no absolute dupe in that. You will see that I don't have so many crafting materials myself. I just have this. I'm gonna show you. As you can see, I just farm. These are all the gems I have. I have to buy gems every day. I have to buy crafting materials every day. I spend a lot for crafting. So this is it. I have nothing more to say about this, and I have nothing to hide, and I'm very, very clear for myself. I'm very, very happy for what I do. I'm sharing with you guys my experience, my gaming experience, my honest gaming experience. Okay? I wanted to clear out this point very, very clearly because it's something I take very personal and very seriously. Okay? Okay, let's move on into the crafting guide. So, in this guide, we're gonna see, we're gonna delve into 3 different steps. Step 1 is gonna be understanding what to do in order to craft and what are the requirements for crafting. Step 2 is gonna be crafting itself. So by crafting itself, I mean rolling stats, re-rolling, and which gem to use and how to use gems and orbs in order to get the best stats out of your items. And the third part is gonna be about what item to actually keep for yourself and what item to sell and how much to sell them for. Okay, so let's dive into it. Step 1. What do you need in order to craft? In order to craft, you need to be, of course, in the Champion of Stonefall mode. You will find yourself in the City tab, which is this one. You will open it by pressing N. Well, the normal key is N. the default key is N. I have everything completed, so you will find that my town is already done. You will see your level here, your productivity value here, and your currencies here. In the Stone Phone Palace, you can see it because I have already unlocked it, but you will find the something which is called planning committees. There are 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3. The third one, actually, planning committee 3, is the one you are looking for because it's the one unlocking the dark market. This one. Dark market is the crafting tool you're gonna use from the town. Okay, it will provide you chances to get the normal ethereal reagent, so the entropy orb, not the geo, the eo, the et, the at, and so on. Then it will provide you the chance to increase the item quality. Item quality, I'm going to show you. So let's take these 2 items. So let's take this plate. As you can see, this item has 4 stars, not 5. What happens when you increase the quality, so you place it into 5 stars? Okay. What happens is basically that the base values for the item, so in this case it's health, all resistance score, and 7% health regeneration rate, so the first one. These stats are gonna get improved by improving the stars. Okay, so if an item has 5 stars, it has the highest possible base stats. Before considering this precise item, I would like to say one more thing. When you choose when you actually choose to craft an item, or to, or even before of that, so when you are into an expedition and you loot your items, how to choose which item is worth to be crafted and not worth to be crafted. I'm gonna show you. You will have to look at their base stats. Okay, so by base stats I mean this one is fine. Okay, let's consider this gauntlet. Okay, this heavy gauntlet is very good. It's ready to be sold already, in my opinion. As you can see, it has only 5 stars. It has only 4 stars, not 5 stars. So actually, this gauntlet, what I'm gonna do is, no, I have 5 projects, so I can't improve the quality for this item yet. I will do so. So as you can see, this gauntlet has 20 toughness. Okay, 20 toughness is the highest roll possible for that base stat. That is the best one you can find. Okay, so if you find an item which has a highest roll stat, keep it because it's worthy to be considered as a crafting base. Okay, and by having the highest roll stat, it already increases the selling value for the item itself. So it's very, very worth if it has the best stats. Okay. Then moving back to the dark market, you can increase the item rarity. Item rarity, I actually don't have. No, I don't have yellow items. Let's see if Moabi has some. Of course not. So let's say let's make an example. Let's consider this plate as if it was a rare one, a yellow color one. So if you increase the rarity, the yellow item is gonna become legendary. So it's gonna become red. And by do so, you know that rare items, so yellow items, can only have at maximum 4 stats instead of 6. Legendary has 6 stats. So when you increase the rarity, so you get from yellow to red, the item is not gonna lose the stats it had previously when it was yellow, and it's gonna add, actually, with a very high chance possibility, it's gonna add new stats, 1 or 2 new, because legendary has max up to 6 stats instead of yellows which had up to 4. Okay, so this is important, because if you want to craft an item when it's yellow, you can. Okay, you can roll 4 good stats for your yellow, and then you place it into the increase item rarity, and then you get a legendary by keeping those 4 stats, and you can add 2 more, which is something very, very interesting and very, very important. And that mainly because the legendary crafting materials cost so much right now. So using the normal crafting materials is very, very important right now. And then the last one, increase reagent rarity. Well, you can place, a geo here, and you can make it become what the hell? Why does it say? Sorry guys, let's see. Okay, as you can see, if I place this thing here by paying 30k, I can make it become a geo. Right now, at this moment, at this precise moment, this is something worth to do. This is something very worth to do because since each stack of legendary material costs 3 millions, 30k for a single one is cheaper than the market price. So you can do that. You can really do that. You can afford to that. So another thing very important to do right now is the Abyssal Rift task. This task is you're not gonna find this task always. It's random. You can find this task. If you find this task, do it, because for just 30k you're just gonna get 1 legendary crafting material randomly, of course, but 30k is lower than the price you can get from the market. So Abyssal Rift is worth to do right now. Okay. So this is what you need in order to being able to craft from the town. The next part for the requirements are the crafting materials, so the orbs and the gems. Okay. Let's dive into it. So crafting materials are divided into normal ones, the white ones, let's say, and the legendary ones, the red ones. So we have 4 types of crafting materials. We have the entropy orbs. They randomly rerolls all the stats in an item. So if you find, let's say you find something like that. Let's say if I have 19, 4%. I don't have a top stat here. Okay, let's go back into this gauntlet into this gauntlet example. So let's assume, by example, that you have a heavy gauntlet plus 20 toughness, which is the best roll, but your 6 stats suck. They are just bad. Okay. In this case, you can use the greater entropy orb, the geo, to randomly reroll them. And you want to do so until you find a crafting base. So what is a crafting base? A crafting base is essentially an item which has the highest number of good stats possible. Okay, so let's take an example. Let's make an example with this polder. Okay, so we have a polder here. It's not top roll, it's just 17 ferocity, which is bad. I actually kept it because spolders, bruiser spolders, are quite looked into the market. So I can easily sell this spawner if I craft a good one. Okay, so in this case I only have 85 toughness. 85 toughness is the best value, is the highest roll for toughness. It's very good, but the other stats are just bad. Okay, so I don't care in this case about the toughness. I don't want to lose so many crafting materials. So and what I want to do now is to use the greater entropy orb to randomly reroll my stats until I find a crafting base. So this is not a crafting base because I only have 26% damage and I only have 76 ferocity, nothing more. I go on, I have some health, I have damage, I have wisdom. This is medium, in my opinion, so I'm just gonna keep rolling. Okay, this is better. I have occult damage. I don't have a stat, but I have 5 stats, so maybe the 6th one is gonna be a stat, flat. I have raging willpower, and I have health. All resistances are not so mandatory. In bruiser gear, you would actually be happier with just health, but since we find ourselves with 111 resistances, that's fine. So in this case, let's say this is a crafting base. Okay, we have, let's say we have 4 good stats. So in this case, we want to perfection it. Okay, so we are gonna use the other gems. In this case, we have 5 out of 6 stats. So we're gonna use the greater Erebant here, the get, the so-called get. Get will add a new random magic effect. So if you have 5 stats, you're gonna get up to 6. And this is our case. So we want to add a 6 stat, we use the get. And unfortunately, well, as I said, it was a flat stat, but it's agility, which is not so good, to be honest. Agility is not so used right now in this meta. So how to perfection the item right now? We have a good base, we want to perfection it. In order to perfection it, we are going to use the Omeko and the Abyssal tier. So the Omeko is the one we are going to use actually for this item, because it's going to remove one, it's going to be removing one random effect to add another random effect. So it's a swap, let's say a swap. The Abyssal tier instead, it's gonna just remove one and nothing more. This is more useful for weapons and for something you can place gems into it. But since we cannot have gems, socket gems for the pauldrons, this is basically useless for this piece. So we're just gonna use the Goe. We lost the health. We lost the resistances and gained 4 shield, which is not so bad actually. There are some builds which use the 4 shield. Okay, we lost agility and we gained the toughness. So I believe this item is fine as it is. There's the attack speed score. Attack speed score is bad. Attack speed score is not so good. It's the only stat which is bad actually. So since I don't want to ruin, now you can. This is the point. This is the cross point. Let's say that in this exact moment, you can either choose to risk, so to further reroll stats and try to remove the attack speed into something else, or you can go safe and say, okay, I'm fine with this item. Because maybe I need to use it because I lack this item, so I'm okay with this for the time being. I equip it and I use it. Or then you can just say, okay, I'm fine with this item because I'm not in such a need for this. I can keep it as it is, and I will sell it into the market. This is the case I'm going to. I am gonna just say I'm fine with this, and I'm gonna sell it into the market. So I'm just gonna place it here into my selling list, and I will upload this later. This was for the armor pieces which don't have any any socket. Let's go deeper into it. Let's go for a weapon now. So we have some weapons here. We have 3 daggers, a bow. Let's actually take a dagger. I don't know. I just looted them as it is. This is not bad. Rand damage is low, but material damage is high. Life leech from land damage, critical chance score, material damage is pretty much high, 339, which is good. Let's try with this. Okay. So as you can see, I moved my weapon here because I want to give you a reference for what I will looking for. So this is my weapon. It has attack speed score, critical damage, material element, physical damage, rend damage, material damage. I have to. This is something very important to learn, because we are gonna learn how these 6 stats are gonna be divided into for the weapons. So there are prefixes and suffixes. So physical damage on attack, rend damage on attacks, material damage on attacks, they are prefixes. Okay. each item, each weapon, it's gonna be divided into 3 prefixes and 3 suffixes. That's when you reroll. You might loot, so by not rerolling, you might loot from a run something which has 4 and 2, 5 and 1. I never saw something which 6 and null, so you are surely find some and some. If you craft yourself, so if you reroll, it's gonna balance into 3 and 3. Otherwise, you can find something which has 4 and 2 or 5 and 1. So it's very important to understand what are prefixes and suffixes, because when you reroll using the Goe, okay, you are losing 1 bonus from one specific category, so 1 bonus from the prefixes or the suffixes, and you are gaining 1 bonus from the same category. Okay, so let's go with this dagger. Okay, let's get this close to the weapon because we have the reference. So as you can see, in my weapon I have 3 prefixes with damage, and right here I have rend damage, material damage, and duration to freeze. Duration to freeze is something we don't want, so we want to reroll that. We want another flat damage in this case. So in this case, what we are gonna do is to actually use these sockets. So let's try to create a schedule for the crafting. So we said, step 1, we want to get a crafting base. A crafting base is essentially an item with very good stats, okay? In order to make us reroll the least stats possible. We want to be less. We want to be less random as possible. Step 2. Once we have the base, get 3 sockets. You don't actually care. You don't have to care about the socket touch. We could use this one as well by using gems into the offensive 2 and 3. We don't care because the bonus we are gonna get through the gems don't scale with the socket type. So this dagger had 3 offensive 1. I was very lucky to get 3 offensive 1 from the loot. This is fine. So get 3 sockets in order to be able to use gems in order to vehicle the randomness from the rerolling into something you want. Step 3, check the stats and understand what you want to reroll. So in this case, we want to reroll the duration to freeze inflicted on enemies into some flat damage, so into some physical or toxic, because we have rend already. So if you have rend already, we don't want to use the eternal rubies, which are giving us rend damage. We want to use either copperstone or emeralds. Since I have since my gems are not so, I'm not rich in gems, and I'm not duper. I don't have a lot of stacks, so I will struggle a bit by doing so, because crafting takes a lot of time and a lot of materials. So, let's say we want to try getting some toxic damage. So we place the gems into the socket, and then in this case we have 6 abilities, we have 6 stats already, so there's no need to use the get, or the geo, because we have a crafting base. Let's try rerolling the duration to freeze into toxic damage. So one thing it might happen, it might also happen that we can get removed. We can remove the attack critical chance score into life leech from toxic damage. This is something which might happen. That's because, as you can see, in the support one, we have 3% life leech from toxic damage. Okay, so we can get a random effect from the gem affinity. Okay, so reroll. In this case, we are trying to vehicle the randomness into something which the emerald gem does. Okay, so we want to get the toxic damage on attacks with this weapon. We hope to get so. I don't believe we will do that in the first case, but this is how it's done. So let's try. Actually, it removed the life leech from rend damage into life leech from toxic damage, so the attack critical chance score is still there. Let's try again. So as you can see, what will happen is that in this case we removed a subfix which was life lead from random damage, and we get another subfix. This is how it works. It removes one stat from that category and it adds another stat from that category. The only case in which you are losing a stat from a category and getting a stat from another category is when the item is not balanced. So if it has 4 subfixes and only 2 prefixes, there's a very high chance to lose a suffix to gain a prefix. So to go from 4-2 to 3-3, okay? This is how it works. So let's try again. We actually lost the 48% material damage. We have only 43% material damage now. So the weapon got a little bit weaker. Let's try again. We really want the toxic damage. Life leech from Aether damage? Really? That's something which has nothing to do with the emeralds. So this is something people, a lot of people reported into the bug section because they believe by using gems you cannot gain these totally random effects. So yeah, I had some reroll which wasn't affecting the gem. So let's try again. We want the toxic damage. We lost the toxic damage. We gained poison ailment damage. That's bad, of course. We want to roll that, but I actually run low of toxic gems. Oh my god, let's just get these things out. Why did I take the rand gems? No, rand gems, I'm fine with those. Okay. I have toxic damage. I have life leech from toxic damage. I have poison element damage. So there's a high chance I can get toxic damage. So I'm gonna stick with the toxic gems for the time being. Let's try again. Again, poison ailment. I'm gonna be very unlucky. Life leech from rand damage. Why is that? Again, another randomness. Okay, now we finally get the toxic damage on attack with this weapon, but unfortunately for us, it rerolled the rend damage. So now we want to get again, we want to get some either rend damage or physical damage. I'm gonna use the rend gems first because I have more rubies. Perfect. Okay, now we have rend damage, toxic damage, and material damage. So our prefixes are very low actually because the best values you can get for our dagger is 106. We have just 90 and 86, so it's very low roll, and we have 43% out of 49%. But this is an example of how the crafting works. So this dagger is not gonna be 650. Of course, it's gonna be, if I'm lucky, a 601. It's very, very low. Now let's look into our subfixes. We have 2 fonts of life leech which are very, very bad. Our material ailment chance score is very, very good. It's almost a top roll. We miss some, we lack critical damage. So we need some Alexandrites actually, and I only have 40 of those. Oh my god, I'm gonna be so poor. So we want to use the Alexandrites in order to remove one of those 2 life leech into critical damage. Let's try that. And that's something which was completely random. We lost the toxic damage into fire damage. So let's move on with the example. We want to go on and gain the critical damage. Now I lost the fire damage. I gain duration of weakness, which is something that's not something which is found in the Alexandrite. So in this case, is the weapon still considered a valuable a crafting base? In my opinion, no. So in this case, these rerolls wasted the item, and so I want to go back to step 1 for the crafting, and I want to get a new crafting base. And by doing so, I use the Greater Entropy Orb, reroll into very, very low physical damage, very medium roll run damage. I'm not, but then as you can see, there's shock ailment, elemental ailment. That's not so good. I'm gonna reroll again, and I'm gonna keep doing it until I find a new crafting base. Frost and lightning, but they are low roll. Material damage, critical damage, physical damage, just low physical damage. So now we have 30% critical damage, 82 lightning damage, 42% elemental damage already. It's a very low roll, I have to be honest. And besides, we have material element, chance score, and duration to freeze. So for some of you, if you have very low gear, this is already a crafting base. So in your case, you can try to reroll, and what you're looking for another flat elemental damage in this case. So either fire, or frost. Not my case. In my opinion, this is not a good crafting base. I'm gonna reroll. No. No again. Physical and fire. No. Frost and material. No. Okay, fire and frost. Critical damage. This is something we can consider. This is very low roll again. Oh my god. But yeah, but then we have life leech from weapon damage. We have critical damage. We only miss the material percent damage attack on this weapon, and we are gonna try to get it by placing. So if you want to gain the percentage damage on attack with this weapon, the best way to do so is to place one gem of each type for that kind of damage into the socket, and then you reroll. In this case, we gain life leech from fire damage, which is something we don't want. So we move on. Elemental ailment, chance score, which is very good. We want it. Let's move on. Another life leech, very bad. Let's move on. And now we did it. We finally got our just 42%, very low roll, 42% elemental damage on attack with this weapon. So as you can see, we managed by vehicling with gems to get a weapon crafted. This is unfortunately for me, this is a low roll crafted weapon. It's an elemental dagger. It already has the free offensive one. So once you find the stats you want for the weapon, the next step for the crafting is to actually get the sockets you want. So you go into here, you place the item, and if it's a weapon, you want to roll free offensive 1. So reroll item sockets until you get free offensive 1. When it's done, depending on the build you're running, if you're running ailments build, you want as many ailments as possible, so you want as many damage type for that weapon. So we have fire and frost, we miss lightning, so in this case we are gonna use lightning gems in order to get our lightning damage, and so the lightning ailment, so the shock ailment. So this is a ready-to-use weapon. It's just 522. Consider one thing about elemental and occult weapon. Elemental and occult weapon, in this case daggers, will not reach 650 scores because the percentage damage attacks on this weapon, so in this case elemental damage on attacks on this weapon, are not scaling the base dagger damage. So as you can see, the dagger has a base physical damage. Okay, you can see 44 up to 135 physical damage. That's the base damage. If you have a material weapon, as mine, as you can see, since the base damage is physical, so it's a material font of damage, the 49% material damage on attacks with this weapon, in my case, is gonna scale the base damage as well. That's why weapons with just the same damage types are getting higher damages values. That's the main reason, because they scale with the same kind of damage. Okay, so in this case we have crafted an elemental dagger. It's unfortunately for us it's just mid tier, low to mid tier. Let's say that. We have only Frost, which is mid tier. Elemental Helmet is mid tier. Critical damage is mid tier. Life Leech is just fine. So in my case, I want to sell this dagger, so I'm gonna place it here and in my wish to sell stuff. Okay, so um, about selling your stuff. So when you sell your stuff, you have to be aware of the market prices. Being aware of the market prices means you have to know and you have to constantly look at the wish to sell, wish to buy, wish to trade, and check the prices players are gonna apply for their stuff. Uh, when you create your list of gear, consider when you apply the price, you have to consider three parameters first. The first parameter you want to consider is that how much that item is wanted. Okay, so if we are talking about an helmet, a heavy helmets are wanted in the market, so that the price for those items is gonna be higher. Then the second thing I said before to consider is the base roll for the stat. So in the case of the gauntlet, again, we have plus 20 toughness. It's the best roll. Having the best roll is gonna raise the value for the item, so you can sell it for more. I have an Omnistar here, plus 20. It's the best one. I already crafted this into 2 flats, material damage, regeneration and hit, critical damage, and occult aim and chance score. Occult aim and chance score is something I might reroll, but I'm fine as it is, as I was before. I think this item is good to sell. As you can see, my equipped Omnistar is perfect. I didn't craft my Omnistar, I bought it in the market to someone, he was selling it yesterday, and I spent a lot on it. I spent my affinity in order to buy it. These are the steps you're looking for in order to craft your gear. So let's reassume the scheme once more. So step one, find your crafting base. So all these items you see here, I never crafted them. I just looted them. So as you can see, let's take this pants for example. We have plus 9% health regeneration rate. It's high. It's not the best, but it's high. Then we have transfer time. We have cooldown decrease. We have health on his item, and we have all resistances. This is a good crafting base. What I want to reroll in this item is actually the agility, and it's the passive dodge, and I want to find some material damage font as I have in my pants already. As you can see, my equipped pants have very high rolls, 45% material damage, 40% transfer time, best toughness roll 85. Also I run ferocity, but I'm fine as this. I didn't roll, I don't have any health on this item, but I have resistances, so I believe it's okay. I believe bruiser gear is more dependent on health instead of resistances, because otherwise you can just run heavy gear for that. So in this case, let's try to roll it. We want to use we want to roll as a font of damage, and we want to reroll agility into something else. Oops, I finished my goys. Let's get some more. Let's see what happens. Ouch, we lost the cooldown decrease. We gained back the cooldown decrease, but we lost the transfer time. Bad. Okay, now we have damage, but only that and the cooldown increase. Okay, in my opinion, this is wasted. I'm gonna try to get a new base. Transfer time, cooldown, no. No. Okay, we have material damage here, wisdom. Attack speed is bad, I mean chance is mid-tier. Material resistance is not so good. Now let's reroll again. No. Uh, I finished my geos. And we keep doing that until we find passive dodge chance, not good. Okay, this is good. We have alt, we have all resistance, we have cooldown decrease, we have transfer time, and we have ferocity. 5 out of 6 are good. We would like to reroll the all resistances into a sort of damage. We might do so by using gems to vehicle it, but first I need 2 sockets. There we go. Now we have 2 sockets. We're gonna use some rend damage. Let's try using some rend. Damn it! Agility is something completely random because rend damage is not gonna give agility. Again, agility. Oh my god! Force shield. I don't know if I want to reroll this again. Let's try. Let's try without the gems. So we have lost health, not the resistances. For damage, it's not bad, but it can be better. Wisdom, and we lost again the damage. Again on resistances. That's bad. No, that's wasted. Let's roll again. So this is it. Transfer time. That's bad. Cool damage, ferocity. This is interesting. Oh, this is good. Okay, let's get some more gets. Okay, so right now we have occult damage, transfer time, ferocity. We don't have health, we have just some more resistances. We want to get some health. I will try getting it through the copperstone. Let's place 2 copperstones actually. Cool damage. We lost resistances to gain passive dodge. Ouch, that's bad. Oh my god, that's bad. Good. Bad. And I finished my goes. Oh my god, wasted. Oh, this is good actually. So now we have material damage, toughness, cooldown decrease. The other are bad. We can try re-rolling them. Of course we lose material damage. This is bad. This is good. Occult damage. Agility is bad. We want to try re-rolling it. Attack speed is so bad. No, this is bad. So best transfer time decrease. Toughness. We want some damage here. Wow, we have so much health now. We want some damage. Ferocity is fine. Or resistance is not so good. Okay. Now we have material damage, transfer time between willpower and rage, ferocity, and just some resistance. This is not so good as item, but material damage percentage is the best, 45%. 40% transfer time is the best. 71 toughness is mid to good roll. So I believe these pumps are fine as it is. I'm just gonna sell them. So let's actually I still have to upload these items. So let's move to something else. Let's try this no. Oh, we have these boots, okay? So as you can see, these boots have 20 ferocity. They are a very good base to roll. They have shitty starts at the moment. We are gonna try to get new ones. So we want to reroll. That's very, very bad. That's very, very bad. Stamina points is fine. Toughness is fine. Or resistance is... I prefer health on bruiser gear, but I have more resistance in my gear as well, but so I'm gonna just say shout. This is... No, this is bad. This is bad. Oh, wait a sec. They have 20 ferocity, but yeah. Oh my god, I didn't see they are level 84 actually. Oh my god, what am I doing? Sell these things. Level 84 is so damn bad. So you want since I managed to incur in this issue, consider this. You want to reroll items that are level 163 plus. Okay, because from 163 you can get the best roll possible. From 163 to 189, all that changes is the chance to get higher rolls by a slight amount percent. It's something we are talking about 8 or 9% at best. So that was a level 84, which was shit actually. So sorry for my word as well. So we don't want to roll that thing. So let's try with something else. Let's say let's try damage toughness. Okay, this is not so bad. It has only 5 stats though. Let's try to add a 6th one, which is bad. And now this is really awful. So we wasted another item. So I believe I can just pass as it is. This is it for the for these crafting steps. So I'm gonna give a couple of words for the rings and the amulets. So these are my rings: 2 flat attacks, material damage, critical damage. It's mandatory for the rings to be steel rings. This is the steel ring meta. You want 20% critical damage on the steel ring as well, so you have to roll for the critical damage. And then you want as much flat damage as possible. 3 would be the best one. This is why I bought this Omnistar. But I have 2 only in the rings, which is fine. I have 2 only crafted here as well. 2 flat spells, 2 flats attack. It's fine, I believe. I can sell those ones for a very fluid amount. So what you want to do is to find at least 2 flats. Then you want the percentage damage. So if you are going to attack, you want material damage or occult damage. Depends on your build. So you want 2 flats, the percentage damage. You want 20% critical damage. The 5th stat, if you want to go for a perfect roll, the 5th stat would be a 3rd flat attack, and the 6th stat would be a Sarizal stat. So with Sarizal stat, I mean the Genesis Stone, which can incur into +2 element stacks inflicted, as I did in the Omnistar I bought, or +1. I just used the Genesis Stones in that one. It just +1 came out of +2, but it's fine. Otherwise, you can go with a maximum health. As you can see, this Omnistar has 1,856 maximum health, which is always fine. So you can always go for maximum health or keep maximum health if you find it. Okay. So this is how you actually craft your gear. Okay, guys. So let's talk about how to sell your stuff. As I said, you want to check the prices from the market. I will. I'm going to link in the description my Wolcen shop. So if you take a look in my in my Wolcen shop, you will find the prices I place my stuff for. So you can find an indicator. You have an indicator from me for the prices you can sell your items for. Okay, so uh, in this way you will understand how to actually calculate the price for your gear. Remember that the more good stats the gear has, something like this. If I wanted to sell my weapon, 1204 with 49%, it's almost perfect roll. Something like this at the moment, I would definitely sell it for something like 200 millions. Okay, and this is how you get the money I did. Okay, so just moving a little bit back to the duping issue. Guys, duping players don't have just 100 millions, okay? They have 100 billions. They don't just have, 4 millions affinity, they have billions. Having these values in after patch 1010, if you sell for the market, it's very, very common. There is many people who have more than half a billion gold. I've met people who actually have dozens of billions gold by just selling into the market. Okay, so this is it. You will find as I said, you will find the link of my Wolcen shop in the description. Take a look at it if you want to check the prices to sell your stuff. And I really hope my crafting guide was explanatory. If you have any question to make me, please comment below or write me in game. If you could enjoy the video, please leave a thumbs. It's very useful to me actually to understand by the thumbs if you want me to go on with more content or not. So keep giving me the feedback you've been giving through all this time. I'm very, very happy for the outcomes till now. So I really, really believe I will be keeping making more videos. Okay, I'm still trying to get if I can actually stream myself. Unfortunately, I have a very bad connection for internet. I have in a ADSL 20 mega, so I'm trying to struggle with it in order to get the best streaming options as possible. Uh, I will update you in the next days. Okay, guys. So that's it for today. Really hope you could enjoy the guide again. Thank you very much for watching the video. Thank you very much for your feedback, and see you next time, guys. Bye.